Hey guys, I am Lisa Moore from Argyle, Texas. I used to teach second grade at Donald STEM Academy, and one of the most favorite things that I did with my students was read Hank the Cowdog books by John Erikson. And so I decided to start a YouTube video section where I would read these books to you, and I hope you enjoy them as much as my students did. I use voices. They might not be the voices that Mr. Erikson used, but I use my voices for these characters. So every day I will read one chapter, and I hope you will tune in and you will enjoy this as much as my students did. So I'm going to begin with book 1, The Original Adventures of Hank the Cowdog. Chapter 1, Bloody Murder. It's me again, Hank the Cowdog. I've just got some terrible news. There has been a murder on the ranch. I know I shouldn't blame myself. I mean, a dog is only a dog, right? He can't be everywhere at once. When I took this job as head of ranch security, I knew that it was only flesh and blood, 4 legs, a tail, a couple of ears, and a pretty nice kind of nose that, you know, the women really go for. 2 bushels of hair and another half bushel of Mexican sandburrs. You add all that up, and you don't get Superman, just me, good old easygoing Hank, who works hard, tries to do his job, and gets very little cooperation from anyone else around here. I'm not complaining. I knew this wouldn't be an easy job. It took a special kind of dog, strong and fearless, dedicated, and above all, smart. Obviously, Drover didn't fit in. The job fell on my shoulders. It was my destiny. I couldn't escape the broom of history that swept through. Anyway, I took the job. Head of Ranch Security. Gee, I was proud of the title. Just the sound of it made my tail wag. But now this murder right under my nose? I know I shouldn't blame myself, but I do. I got the report this morning around dawn. I had been up most of the night patrolling the northern part of ranch headquarters. I had heard some coyotes yapping up there, and I went to check it out. I told Drover where I was going, and he came up lame all of a sudden, said he needed to rest his right leg. You know, Drover. I went alone. I didn't find anything. The coyotes stayed out in the front pasture. I figured there were 2, maybe 3 of them. They yapped for a couple of hours, making fun of me, calling me ugly names, and daring me to come out and fight. Well, you know me, I'm no dummy. There's a line between heroism and stupidity, and I tried to stay on the south side of it. I did not go and fight, but I answered them back for a bark and yap for yap, name for name. The coyote hasn't been built who can out-yap Hank the Cowdog. A little before dawn, Loper, one of the cowboys on this outfit, stuck his head out the door and yelled, "Shut up that yapping, you idiot!" I guess he thought there was only one coyote out there. They kept it up and I gave it back to them. Next time Loper came out the door, he was armed. He fired a gun into the air and squalled something about how a man couldn't sleep around here with all that dang noise. I agreed. Would you believe it? Them coyotes yipped louder than ever, and I had no choice but to give it back to them. Loper came back out on the ranch and fired another shot. This one came so close to me that I heard it hum. Loper must have lost his bearings or something, so I barked louder than ever to give him my position. And you know, to let him know that I was out there protecting this ranch. The next bullet just darn near got me. I mean, I felt the wind of it as it went past. That was enough for me. I shut her down for the night. If Loper couldn't aim any better than that, he was liable to hurt somebody. I laid low for a while, hiding in the shelter belt. until I was sure the artillery had gone back to bed. Then I went down for a roll in the sewer and cleaned up, washed myself real good, came out feeling refreshed and ready to catch up on my sleep. I trotted down to the gas tanks and found Drover curled up in my favorite spot. I growled him off my gunny sack. "Beat it, son, make way for the night patrol." He didn't want to move, so I went to sterner measures, but put some fangs on him. That moved him out, and he didn't show no signs of lameness either. I have no idea that where Drover is lame is only between his ears. I did my usual bedtime ritual of walking in a tight circle around my bed until I found just exactly the right spot I wanted, and then I flopped down. Oh, it felt so good. I wiggled around and finally came to rest with all four paws sticking up in the air. I closed my eyes and had some wonderful twitching dreams about, don't really exactly know the subject matter, but most likely they were about Beulah, the neighbor's collie. I dream about her a lot. What a woman. Makes my old heart pound just to think about her. Beautiful brown and white hair, big old eyes, and a nose that tapers down to a point. Not quite as good as mine, but so what? And nice ears that flap as she runs. Only trouble is that she's crazy about some dumb spotted bird dog. Without a doubt, he's the ugliest, dumbest, worthless cur I ever met. What could be uglier than a spotted, short-haired dog with a skinny tail? And what could be dumber or more worthless than a dog that goes chasing birds? They call him Plato. I don't know why, except maybe because his eyes look like plates half the time. Empty plates. He don't know a cow from a sow. But do you think that makes him humble? No, sir. He thinks that bird chasing is hot stuff. What really hurts, though, is that Beulah agrees with him. I don't understand that woman, but I dream about her a lot. Anyway, where was I? Under the gas tank, catching up on some sleep, and all at once Drover was right there beside me, jumping up and down, giving off a high-pitched squeal that kind of bores into my eardrums. You can't ignore him when he does that. Well, I throwed one eye open, kept the other one shut so that I could get half sleep. Will you please shut up? Hank! Oh, Hanky, it's just terrible. You wouldn't believe. Hurry and wake up. I seen his tracks down on the creek. Get up before he escapes. I throwed open the other eye, pushed myself up and went nose to nose with that noisemaker. Quit hopping around. Quit making all that racket. Hold still and state your business. Okay, Hank, all right, I'll try. He tried and was none too successful, but he did get the message across. Oh, Hank, there's been a killing right here on the ranch, and we slept through it. Huh? I was coming awake by then, and the word killing sent a jolt clean out to the end of my tail. Who's been killed? They hit the chicken house, Hank. I don't know how they got in there, but they did and busted in there and killed one of them big leghorn hens. Killed her dead. Hank, and oh, the blood. Well, that settled it. I had no choice but to go back on duty. A lot of dogs would have just turned over and gone back to sleep, but I take this stuff pretty seriously. We trotted up to the chicken house, and Drover kept jumping up and down and talking. I found some tracks down by the creek. I'm sure they belong to the killer, Hank. I'm just sure they do. What kind of tracks? Coyote. We reached the chicken house, and sure enough, there was the hen lying on the ground, and she was still dead. I walked around the body, sniffing it good and checking the signs. I noticed the position of the body and memorized every detail. The hen was lying on her left side, pointing toward the northeast, with one foot out and the other one curled up under her wing. Her mouth was open, and it appeared to me that she had lost some tail feathers. I'm beginning to see a pattern.
What? Tell me, Hank, who done it?
Not yet. Where'd you see them tracks? There weren't any tracks around the corpse. The ground was too hard. Drover took off in a run, and I followed him down to the brush along the creek. He stopped and pointed to some fresh tracks in the mud.
There they are, Hank, just where I found them. Are you proud of me?
I pushed him aside and studied the tracks. Looked it over real careful, sniffed it, gave it a full treatment, and then I raised up. Okay, I got it now. It's all clear. Them's are coon tracks, son, not coyote. It's all clear. Coons must have attacked while I was out on patrol. They're sneaky. You've got to watch them every minute. Drover squinted at the tracks.
Are you sure those are coon tracks? They sure look like coyotes to me.
You don't go by the look, son. You go by the smell. This nose of mine don't lie. If it says coon, you better believe there's a coon at the end of them tracks. And I'm fixing a clean house on them. Stay behind me and don't get hurt. I threaded my way through the creek willows, over the sand, through the water. I never lost the scent. In the heat of the chase, all my senses came alive and pointed like a blazing arrow towards the enemy. In a way, I felt sorry for the coons, even though he'd committed a crime and become my mortal enemy. With me on his tail, the little guy just didn't have a chance. One of the disadvantages of being as big and deadly as I am is that you sometimes find yourself in sympathy with the other guy. But part of being head of ranch security is learning to ignore that kind of emotion. I mean, to hold down this job, you have to be cold and hard. The scent was getting stronger all the time, and it didn't smell exactly like any coon I'd come across. All at once, I saw him. I stopped dead still, and Drover, the little dummy, ran into me and almost had a heart attack. I guess he thought I was a giant coon or something. It's hard to say what he thinks. The coon was hiding in some bushes about 5 feet in front of me. I could hear him chewing on something, and the smell was really strong.
What's that?
Drover whispered, sniffing the air. Coon, what do you think? I glanced back at him. He was shaking with fear. You ready for some combat experience?
Yes,
he squeaked. All right, here's the plan. I'll jump in and try to get him behind the neck. You come in the second wave and take what you can. If you run away like you did last time, I'll sweep the corral with you and give you a whooping you won't forget. All right, let's move out. I crouched down, crept forward, every muscle in my highly conditioned body taut and ready for action. 5 feet, 4 feet, 3 feet, 2. I sprang through the air and hit right in the middle of the biggest porcupine I had ever seen. See you tomorrow. Bye.